Since everything starts with self, let me hold this mirror up and take a look at myself. Before I judge you, I gotta check myself. And I come to find out that that's good for my health, right? Change your mind and watch the whole body follow. So you won't hear me talking about I'm hitting you with hollows. I can't do it, got plans for tomorrow. And I ain't trying to bring my seeds no type of sorrow. Wait, cause fake rappers do fake-ish. I mean, most the basic get replaced quick. I'll never sacrifice my soul. Truth is, so I might never get 1 million records sold. But that's cool, cause I'm good with the creator. He nurtured my thoughts, so I present you with verbal flavor. You never listen to.
All right, y'all know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. Yeah. Hope everybody had a good lunch. We are back at it in the building. We should be good to go. Should be looking nice. Oh, yeah. There we go. Looking all crispy and clean on the screen. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode, the afternoon episode of the Music Morning Show. I'm your host, ClassE Beats of ClassEbeats.com, and we're going to get right back into the trial. Some of y'all may have been able to catch the trial we had this morning, but in case you missed it, a lot of things went down. We've got a new witness on the stand, Antonio Sledge, aka Monktunk, and he's talking that talk. He's up there giving the state all kinds of problems, and we're going to see if after lunch is any better. But before I do that, let me say what's up to the family in the building, man. Always good to see y'all. And thank you to everybody who stopped back by too. Let me see who we got in here. We have JC is in the building. Strictly Business is up in here. My dog, Mr. Tesla, is in the building as well. We got the Nurse Esquire. Randall is up in here. Good to see you. Deshauna. Michi is back. Johnny's in here. Seen, heard. What is up? Unagi's son is in here. It's is in the building. Or ITZ. Kirsty Ann is back. Amy's back in here. Angie, I always mess up your name. Shout out to Angie Lee. Good to see you. Carmaine is in the building. Laura is back in here too. Shout out to Laura for always stopping by. Dungeon Master Dominatrix. Oh Lord, what you got going on over there? Nicholas. We got Monica is up in here. Shout out to Monica. Who else? Elizabeth Wright, Big Mall, Karen, Trish. I see you, Stacy. We've got Beryl in here. Sue. Who else? Nasir, Chad Roberts. I've got Odor of Mendacity is in here. Good to see you. Anthony Ward, Mr. Mud's back. We got Zach, Lady Justice JD, Xavier is in here. We got Phenomenal RN News Blog. Mama Dukes is in the building. Shout out to Mom Dukes. Freddie Harris, my guy, is in here. 904, and Terry is back as well. If y'all could do me one favor, I don't ask for much on this channel. If you could, make sure you like the video on your way in. Not only does it help the show continue to grow, but it lets the algorithm know that you guys are enjoying the show, and it shares it with more people. That's all I ask for y'all to do. I will also be reading super chats throughout the show. So if y'all decide to send in some super chats, I want to go ahead and say thank you. Thank you for keeping the lights on right here on the Music Morning Show. James, I see in there. Paris Cares is back in here. Raphael Lindsay is in the building too. James Rittenberg is in here as well. We had a super chat come in over on the Cash App. Shout out to Young dropping the 10 bomb. Says supporting the channel. I appreciate you, Young. Thank you so much for the support. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So I think they are back in court. We're probably going to be here for another hour 15. So y'all hang on. Let me know what you think in the chat. And if you haven't yet, please like the video. It's free. Here we go. Now I'm going to skip ahead a little bit for y'all too. Let me see. Boom. We got him. Looks like we've got Mr. Sledge back up here already too. Oh, and I've got to turn the volume up. I almost messed that up again. Let's get the volume right.
Well, you can proceed.
Got him. I was thinking that too, 904 Cowboy. He
Mr. Sledge, you doing okay?
For YSL, he was filming the music video. That's a great
When
one.
we last spoke for lunch,
Hey, hold on.
I believe that the question that I was asking you
Ooh, what's going on with the sound?
had to do with your ability
All right, this sound issue is not me, y'all. It's coming from
to
the court. Hold on.
ask your attorney about any documents that you signed on December 28th, 2022.
Oh, that's bad.
Right. Did you have access to your current attorney on December 28th,
Yeah, the issues from the sound are not me, y'all. It looks like there's having some sound issues in court. Hold on.
2022? Right. Yeah. And did you have an opportunity to ask him questions before signing any documents presented to you by the state?
Yes.
Did you ask
Thank
him
you, private
questions
user.
before signing?
Thank you, private user. Yeah, Amy saying it's loud on her end. Private user says, I love watching a channel run by someone intelligent, so keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Amy said, God bless you. Yeah, it's panned to the right. Hold on a second. I'm going to skip forward and
Signing any
see
documents.
if they fix it.
Document
They might be trying to fix it now. Hold on.
version number 7 on State's Exhibit 440.
give a copy to counsel for the defense.
So they fixed it a little bit. Stacy said sound issues. What
I
else
see
is
it,
new?
but
And
Do you see,
There it
or
goes. They
does that
fixed it.
refresh your memory as to whether you saw a document with that language in it?
I don't remember seeing the document with that.
Okay. Let me now show
you, Pam.
you State's Exhibit 444 Yankee.
The sound should
And-
be better now. I think they fixed it.
Ask you to take a look at number seven.
You just showed me something.
Okay. Is number 7 the
Yeah.
first version, number
Amy's saying it's
7
better
on
on
State's Exhibit
A&F.
444
Let me see.
Yankee? Is that it?
Hang on. Yes. Yes.
Mr. Weinstein's over there covering his ears. Let me see if I can find it.
Thank you, Judge.
Amy said A&F is better.
Initials are
Yeah, it's
placed
still paying to the right,
beside
though.
numbers relating to statements.
Nah, we'll just deal. Thank you.
Her okay? Okay. Unless, can y'all hear her okay? Okay.
That's just the one side, Judge. Y'all type it in the chat and let them know.
Mr. Sledge,
Say, court sound
having looked
court
at
sound is
State's
off.
Exhibit 444 Yankee, the document that we referred to prior to lunch, is your memory clear on whether or not it says that you were at the McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue in section 7 of part 4 of this document?
You said it say I was at the McDonald's.
No. My question is showing you states 444 Yankee.
Right.
Is that the document that you signed?
I don't
Hold on.
remember. I don't remember what I signed.
Hold on.
I see my initial, but
Okay.
I don't.
Do you also see your signature?
I said I see my signature.
Okay. With the date?
Yes,
All right. Of December 28th, 2022?
yes.
Okay. Now, on this document that you are looking at, can you read to yourself number 7?
Yes, I read it already.
Okay. Having read that document, are you able to tell the jury if the document that you put your signature on December 28th, 2022, said that
Big
you
Baby
met at the
James, right?
McDonald's or something different?
It says something different.
And was that something different language that you asked the state to correct? In other words, does the document?
I don't, by me signing it, say no, but I don't recall if I asked you to change it. I was asking you so much to change that never got changed. So I don't recall which ones I asked you to change.
All right. Since you said you were asking me so much to change that never got changed,
Overruled.
are you able to tell the jury what all you asked to be changed that did not get changed?
Here we go.
I just told you I don't remember.
Then
Lord,
what
that's been almost,
then
that's been
what are you
almost 2
complaining
years
about?
ago. I don't remember.
Okay.
Not that part. Not by signing.
Would looking at 444Y refresh your memory at all?
Yeah, you showing it to me, and I told you my signature on it.
What up, though? S.
You
Dot?
showing me that. I'm telling you that it's saying my signature on it. But I signed. I ain't saying I didn't sign. I'm not arguing with you or debating with you about that. I'm not saying I didn't sign. I just didn't remember what I was signing. I just was signing.
Stop the cap.
Thank you for that. My question is, are you able at all to remember
That's what I'm saying,
what
Tessa.
things you recall asking the state to change that it did not change?
No,
Objection asked and answered.
Well, can you rephrase that question? Because you've asked him the totality of it. Are you trying to ask him, is there anything?
See, Judge Whitaker, stop doing this, man. Stop coaching them up. She does not have to do this for the defense. She does it for the prosecution because, contrary to what was being said in the chat before lunch, this lady is just garbage.
That he remembers?
Yes.
Are you
Okay.
trying to
Try
ask
that.
him?
All right, thank you. Asking it in a better way. Is there anything you remember asking us to change that we just refused to change?
I can't remember exact, but if you show me the paper, I
Jeez.
probably can point out the ones that I wanted you to change that didn't get changed.
I'm going to show you states 444, and if you would not read anything,
I'm not
just tell
gonna
me
read. I'm
numbers.
just pointing to you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is this 444Y?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Dang, this sound is bad.
I know this one.
Can we get to 700 likes? 800 likes?
Your Honor,
Yes.
for the purposes of the record, I would just, I believe Mr. Sledge just identified one. If he could just say the numbers so we can follow, because we're not looking at the sheet along with him when he points.
Sure.
Number 8, number 9, I don't know if number 7 or not, because I don't remember.
I'm sorry, what did you say about number 9?
I meant say number 7. I don't know. I know number 9 is one I asked you to change.
Did you say I don't know about number 7?
Yeah, I don't really remember about number 7, but I know what it's saying isn't true.
Number 7, you're saying is not true.
Yeah, I didn't hear that from that part. I heard it in the streets, not from a member.
This is bad. This man saying, oh yeah, number 7, defendant was told by another YSL associate that immediately after the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., YSL associates met at the McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia to discuss the murder. He said, oh yeah, somebody told me that, but I don't know.
Do you understand what I'm saying now?
I hear your testimony, yes.
She said, I don't get it.
Are
But
those
sure,
the only 2?
I hear what you're
That's
saying.
3. Well, y'all said 7, I didn't really know.
She's up
But
there
8 and
looking
9, I'm
like she's trying to host Oprah.
remember asking you to change, and they never got changed.
Anything else?
You say you can't really hear me?
No.
All right, it's fine.
Now, when you say that you asked me to change 8 and 9, how did you make that request? Did you personally talk to me, or did you ask someone to tell me?
I was telling my lawyer those were not correct.
And he came back and, at your request, he asked the state, that's your understanding, to change those?
I don't know personally what went on between y'all. Wasn't there. I was in the back. Y'all was in the courtroom.
Now, at any time were you forced to put your initials on anything on this document that's labeled 444Y?
I was actually told you can initial, but you can get if you be called in, you can explain the truth of what you know and what you don't know.
Interesting.
Is it your test? So are you now testifying that your initials are placed beside numbers relating to statements that are false? Is that what your testimony is?
Yeah, because I don't know that. That's why I'm saying it's false. There's no way that I can know that if I wasn't there or no one who you have charged told me. I was personally charged with that same thing you talking about. From the beginning, before any of these guys, except Shannon Stillwell, any one of the other guys, before they were charged with it, I never heard of that until May 9th when you put it on your indictment.
Okay. I'm going to show you that same document, 444Y, and ask you to look at section 5 of the document. And looking at it, is there a marking on the document? Does it refresh your memory as to whether you personally marked anything out on the document?
I see my initial by whatever it is.
Does it refresh your memory as to whether you scratched anything out
Appreciate you,
and
KR.
changed it?
I think y'all told me to scratch that. I didn't change it. You wrote that. I didn't write that. That's not my writing. That's my
Is
initial.
that your initial? Okay.
Yes.
is
KR said the state is goading a mistrial. God dang. They're tanking their own case? Ooh, okay. We'll put a poll in the chat.
the change that you referred to on
wow.
section 5 of page 6. Is that the only thing that you recall being changed at your request?
No.
What else do you recall being changed at your request?
Well, now, yes, I'm sorry. Y'all can scratch. No, yes, I don't remember nothing else you changed at my request.
He said, no, yes, I don't remember.
Would showing you any other documents refresh your memory?
No.
Okay.
He's pulling the little Woody. No, because it didn't happen. Y'all made me say this. Crazy.
So number 3 on 444Y, which we were discussing before lunch. Can you explain to the jury how your participation in a drive-by shooting was intended to express support and loyalty for YSL?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I mean, it has sort of been asked and answered in that he
Come on, Judge
Yeah.
Whittaker.
sustained.
Y'all know what time it is.
Have you ever had a dream that you could
Tell us what happened in the drive-by shooting.
You could do so.
What you mean? Go into details what happened?
Yes, sir.
Well, I never, like, at the club, Garlington got jumped on. Which,
Michigan Garlington?
the Michigan Garlington, which didn't have anything to do with anyone else besides me and Garlington.
How do you know?
Huh? How did I know they had nothing to do with no one else?
Yes, and yes.
Because no one else was in the club with us, got their hands put on them.
So
This love is, wow.
who was it that put hands on Garlington?
I don't know. It was a group of guys. I didn't see no faces, none of that.
So how are you able to tell the jury that it had nothing to do with anyone except you and Garlington when you can't say who put their hands on you?
Oh, this lady is such a bad lawyer. Oh, why is she asking him this? You asked him about the drive-by shooting. You got to let this one go. The jury's not even thinking about that right now. You asked him about the drive-by shooting. Now you're focusing on the fact that he just randomly said that it didn't have anything to do with anybody else. We can revisit that at another time. Stay on topic, Miss Love. Squirrel brain Love.
Well, I can say what Garlington told me, but I can't tell you, do I know it personally was those guys? Because there was a lot of them,
Man.
but I can tell you what Garlington told me.
Were those guys part of a gang?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for hearsay.
Well, I mean, it may or may not, to your personal knowledge.
Was
Did
they-
you believe that those guys who put their hands on Garlington were a part of a gang? I asked him.
Sustained.
Rephrase your question.
To your
Or
knowledge,
just go back to the
were
drive-by.
the persons who put their hands on you, or on Garlington rather, excuse me, a part of a gang?
I don't know, because if they joined the game, I wasn't there when they joined the game.
If they joined a what now?
If they was part of a game,
When you're saying gang, are you saying, spell what you're saying?
G-A-N-G. You
Okay.
said game.
I did, thank you.
So if they was part of a game, whenever they joined, I didn't eyewitness. So I don't know if they was or was they false claiming or what. I don't know.
Okay. So forgive me for interrupting. Please tell the jury what led up to the drive-by shooting. What happened?
Oh, we're back.
Well, they jumped on Garnington in the club. I assisted Garnington, and then it went farther with us fighting. And then I don't know what happened on the outside. I don't know what happened on the outside, but then me, Garnington, and Zachary, we went and we did what we did.
Okay. Were you standing next to Garlington when he first got jumped?
No, he was coming back towards me.
Okay. And you said you didn't see the face of who jumped him.
I never really seen it. Somebody told me that they was jumping on Garnington.
Who told you?
People in the club. I can't give you a name because I don't know their name.
So what did you do?
I assist Garnington.
How did you assist Garlington?
I helped get him off Garnington.
As you were helping getting them off of him, did you recognize anybody that you were helping to get off of
It
him?
was abroad. No. There was so many people.
Okay. You said earlier that you didn't know whether these people were actually a part of a gang or if they were false claiming.
Right.
Do you know what gang they claimed to be a part of, if any?
Sustained.
Maybe ask another foundational question first.
Are you aware of whether these people that you pulled off of Garlington claimed to be a member of any particular gang?
You said, did they claim to be part of a gang?
Correct.
Overruled.
Actually, I can't really say what gang they claim.
Without saying what gang, at the time that you pulled these guys off of Garlington, did you believe that they belonged to any particular gang?
Overruled.
No.
Thank you, Amy.
Are you familiar with a person by the name of Kelvin Watts, who answers to the names Kel and Shell Kel?
I know of him, but I don't know him. He wasn't there though that night. I know that much.
Does Shell Kel, to your knowledge, belong to a particular gang?
Well, I heard that he was part of a gang.
Are you aware of whether he claims to be a part of that gang via his postings or anything else?
Yeah, a lot of people claim to be some they ain't.
Fair enough. What gang do you understand Shell Kel to be a part of?
What he claimed, 9 Deuce or something like that?
9 Deuce?
Yes.
Is that also If Gang or Inglewood Family?
From my understanding.
Okay.
That's a yes?
Yes, from my understanding.
Okay.
I don't.
And is that gang, to your understanding, a blood gang?
Sustained.
If he knows, Your Honor, I'm asking to his understanding, does he understand that gang to be a blood set?
Overruled.
Yes, I heard, but I don't know for sure. I heard.
Did you consider
We're
that
just saying
gang
anything now.
a rival gang?
Please use your mic.
A rival game? No.
A rival of what?
Did you
YSL wasn't a gang.
state on December 28th, 2022, that you threatened to harm a person named Kel because of that person's association with a rival gang?
Yeah, but at the time I didn't know. At the time that the threat was made, I didn't know he was If gang.
When did you learn he was If gang?
Ooh. I know it was after that video.
Okay. Now we're talking about a video. What video are you referring to?
The video of me and Quindarius. But it wasn't about no gang situation.
Okay. What did you do in the video?
I told him if he was looking for me, I had something for someone who was looking for me, who was not my friend.
And forgive me, you told him that if he was looking for you, what was that last part?
I had anything for anybody who's looking for me that's not my friend. He have no reason looking for me if he's not my friend.
Okay. And what did you have for him?
Whatever to do to protect myself.
Who else was in the video with you?
Quindarius Zachary.
Is he the only person?
That's the only person I remember.
I'm going to show you what we have marked as State's Exhibit 441Y, which has also been provided to counsel for the defendants with the court's permission. May I approach?
You may.
Here we go. We're talking about, again, this plea deal.
Are you able to see the video on the screen? Okay.
We're talking about number 3, and now she's moving on to number 4 right here. So she's just going down the plea line by line. Lady K, you know it's not that easy. They say 3 hours, it means a day and a half. They say, oh yeah, we should be
And when do
to
you
cross by
recall
Wednesday.
that video being made?
I can't recall. I just know it was in. I can't recall. I know it was in. I think it was in 2015 or 2014. I don't recall.
What did you do with that video once it was made?
They posted on social media.
Who is they?
I want to say Zachary posted. Or did I post it? I don't recall who posted, but
It was either you or Zachary?
yeah.
What are you saying in the video?
I just told you what I said.
Is State's Exhibit 441 Yankee, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the video that you...
The video you just showed me?
Yes.
Yes.
Your Honor, the state tenders 441 Yankee as evidence.
We want to see the video.
Admitted.
And with the court's permission, while we are pulling that up, I'll go ahead and ask you additional questions.
That's fine.
Yeah, keep it moving, man. Dang. Yeah,
Do you
does.
have anything? Do you have anything in your hands in the video?
Yes.
What?
I'll go.
And does Zachary have anything in his hands in the video?
Got 2 guns in his hand.
What was the purpose of posting that video on social media?
We were really being silly, man.
Okay. And when you say you're being silly, what do you mean?
It was childish.
Okay. Did you intend for people to see it?
They posted on Instagram, so of course people were gonna see it.
Understood.
We posted it for him to see it.
Okay. Would you please continue? Hang on one second. If it's ready to play, we can play it.
Yeah, we want to see it.
And we are now publishing State's Exhibit 441 Yankee after we hide the floating toolbar.
You little stiff ass nigga. We ain't really going back and forth no nigga. You little bitch ass nigga. I know where we hit. I'm everywhere. Yeah, fuck you nigga, Cal. Whoever else, nigga. Well, nigga. Pop, pop, pop. Nigga. Whoa. They said I ain't really going back.
Is that the video you're referring to?
Yes.
All right. Now, would you continue telling the jury what led to the drive-by shooting following Demikion Garlington getting jumped on at the club?
What led to it?
Yes, continue telling us what happened.
Small Mo.
We left the club and we went over. Well, no, we didn't leave the club. I left the club and then Garlington called me to come back to get him because I left him at the club.
Did Garlington ride with you to the club?
No.
Do you know who Garlington went to the club with?
No, he was calling me all that day to ride me to the club, and I don't like people to ride to the club. I mean, I go to the club by myself. I might meet them there, but I always ride by myself.
Who all participated in the fight when Garlington got jumped?
Just me and Garlington. No one else was in the club with us.
All right. And so after, how did the fight end?
Security guard broke it up.
Okay. After the security guard broke it up, what did you do?
I stayed in the club. They put Garlington out the club.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
I was in the inside looking for Garlington's phone with security guard, and I guess security guard found the phone and he took it outside. And then eventually I got the females that I was with and we went outside.
And then what happened?
I pulled off. Garlington was talking, saying something, and I got in my car and pulled off. And by the time I got to the spreadway, Garlington called me back to come pick him up because he didn't have a ride.
What club were you all at?
Club Crucial.
And what day of the week was that?
It wasn't a Monday, so it had to be like a Saturday or something like that, if I am mistaken.
What did Garlington call you back for? Just to get a ride?
Yeah, at first just to get a ride, yes.
What then did it later turn into?
It later turned into a shoe.
Tell the jury how that happened.
I guess Garlington didn't want to let it go, and I was riding with Garlington.
And what's your point?
Which I probably wouldn't let it go neither, because another grown man ain't got no business putting his hand on no grown man.
Facts.
So fill in the blanks and tell us from the time that you went to pick up Garlington, what happened that led you to participate in a drive-by shooting?
I don't remember. I can't remember all the details that happened that night, but I just know it was a drive-by shoot. Well, it wasn't a drive-by shoot.
What
it
was
was a shooting. Cause I didn't see nobody shoot. If that makes sense.
Please explain.
I never seen them shoot. Cause I dropped them off and I kept going.
And then what happened?
I guess they did the shooting.
Did you drop them off at any one particular spot?
I don't know the name of the street.
Understood, but did you drop them off at any one particular spot?
I don't remember.
Did you take them to more than one spot?
Did you take them to McDonald's? Shout out
Can you
to
refresh
Layla.
my memory if you can?
Let me try this another way.
Say I don't recall and keep it moving.
Were you asked to take Demekion Garlington or anyone else in the car with you to more than one spot?
What?
No, I remember taking Zachary to his cousin's house somewhere.
So what happened at the spot that you said you dropped them off at?
I don't really remember, Ms. Love, but I know I pleaded guilty to it. I don't remember, but I know I pleaded guilty to it. I don't remember all the details, but I pleaded guilty to it.
Mr. Sledge,
He pleaded.
Is a drive-by shooting or shooting something that stands out in your mind, or is it something that's just commonplace for you?
Ask it. What?
Could you repeat it?
Is a drive-by shooting something that stands out in your mind, or is it something that is just commonplace for you?
Yeah, me too.
Could you break it down? Because I want to
These
understand.
questions are bad. These
You
questions
saying
are
is it
so
in my
bad.
mind or is it just something I do?
Is it something that is worthy of remembering for you? A drive-by shooting?
No,
It's not something that's worthy of remembering.
no,
So it's not a big deal for you?
not for me.
You grew up in certain places, it's not a big deal for you either.
Was more than one house shot up after Demekion was jumped at the club?
Probably I wasn't there. I probably was, I'm saying, but I didn't take them to more than one place.
Man, listen, most of these places, you pull the curtains back or lift up the blinds if you even got those. You make sure it's not happening in front of your house and you keep cooking, man. I don't even know. Ms. Love's acting like the jury and her don't know what's up.
Do you recall going to Adele Drive
Where is that located?
off of
Yes,
Martin
sir.
Luther King in... I'll rephrase. Do you recall going to an area off of Martin Luther King called Adele Drive?
Yeah, I think that was well.
Do you recall going to a location on Drew Drive?
No, they lied.
Night.
No, I don't recall going to drive, but I know it was all in my plea agreement. I just thought it was best in my interest, so I pleaded guilty to it.
Did you ever talk about that shooting with Quindarius Zachary or Demekion Garlington
What you mean that night?
at any time?
No, we didn't really talk about it.
When I asked you whether you threatened to harm Kelvin Watts because he was affiliated with a rival gang, you said,
Yeah.
did you say rather, at the time you made the threat, you did not know he was If Gang. Did you say that?
Yes.
Why did you make an assertion about if gang when I asked you about a rival gang?
What?
Because it ain't, Miss Love, it ain't like I don't know what y'all trying to put together. I know what you saying and I know what the state's saying,
Exactly.
but that don't mean it got to be true.
Exactly.
Mr. Sledge, do you understand that I'm just asking you questions so that you can speak to the jury?
And I answered to the jury like,
You didn't answer the question. My only question to you was,
he did answer the
why
question.
is it that when I asked you whether you threatened to harm Shell Kell because he was affiliated with a rival gang, you responded, at the time I made the threat, I didn't know he was if gang.
I said I didn't know he was 9 Deuce.
Object. That's a misstatement of the evidence.
Sustained. The witness corrected it.
Thank you. Why did you say that at the time you made the threat, you didn't know he was a member of that gang?
Because the state, this is what the state painted a picture that YSL, I'm answering the question if you're going to let me answer. The way I know the answer. If you're not going to let me answer, then.
Sledge.
She's over there making faces.
Because the state is painting a picture that YSL and 9 Do is the rival gang. So I know you saying it don't take a rocket science to figure that out.
Has anyone instructed you to come in here and talk about what picture the state is trying to paint?
No.
Has anyone instructed you just to be honest?
I'm being honest. You might think I'm not, but I'm telling you I'm being honest.
Okay.
I'm being honest as I can.
So irrespective of the picture that the state,
oh man,
in your opinion, is trying to paint, why did you bring up the name of that particular gang when I asked you about a rival gang?
It's also
No, it has been overruled.
It's also a misstatement, Your Honor. Miss Love brought up if gang.
Right.
Mr. Sledge said right.
Go ahead, Miss Love.
All right. How did Quindarius Zachary get in the picture?
What you mean?
As it relates to this drive-by shooting on April the 28th, how did Quindarius Zachary get in the picture?
I don't know if Gunnington called him. I think Gunnington called him and told him he ain't got jumped on.
Sledge's a mess.
Before I even made it back to Gunnington.
And so how did Quindarius Zachary get with you all?
What you mean? We went and got him.
Okay. So after you picked up Garlington from Crucial, you all then drove somewhere else and picked up Zachary?
Right.
Where did you all pick him up from?
I don't remember.
Who was it that told you which house or houses to go to?
I don't know who told Gunnington.
No, who told you you were driving, right?
Yeah. Gunnington told me how to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, get your popcorn ready.
Look, they already have told you all this stuff. Well, you're right. You got to tell it to the jury. I'm sorry.
And you understand, I can't tell the jury.
Right. You're right.
Okay. Would you please tell the jury?
The witnesses are running this court. You know why? Because the state has nothing.
Whether at the time you took Garlington to that house, you knew or believed that it was the home of a rival gang member.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
Okay. Did you see the guns did anyone have guns in the car at the time that you took Garlington to that house of the rival gang member?
We had guns. We rolled with guns every day. Not one day, every day.
When you say we, who are you talking about?
Me, Gunnington, and Zachary then.
Okay.
Whenever we was together.
At the time that you were together, were Garlington and Zachary also members of YSL? Apologies.
Well, everybody
I hope they do.
everybody probably assumed they was YSL, but I can't. Well, I heard them say YSL, put it like that. So I can't really actually say.
Was it your understanding at the time that you took them to that home of the rival gang member that both Garlington and Zachary were YSL?
What? These
I
questions,
believe so,
man.
yeah.
Crazy.
How did Nine Deuce become a rival gang?
I have no idea.
Who was it a rival to?
You said, the state say YSL.
You're the only one that can give
Why?
testimony. So who was it a rival to with your understanding?
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Brooklyn.
my
Ask Nine
understanding,
Deuce.
it wasn't a rival with everyone who claimed YSL. There probably was certain people, not everyone.
So who was it a rival to? Who was this gang a rival to?
Me, Garlington, and Zachary at the time.
Okay. No one else.
Not that I know
Thank
of.
you, Amy.
Did you say on December 28th, 2022, that you and your fellow YSL associates committed the drive-by shooting on behalf of YSL and to increase the notoriety, reputation, and fear of YSL?
Yes.
Again, that was some you stated and some I initiated. I most definitely initiated that.
Earlier, did I
didn't-
give, go ahead.
Because none of the stuff on the paper, I never approved none of it. I signed, but if you would have came to me and asked me that before, I would have told you it wasn't true.
You can't do
Earlier when we were talking about changes that you asked to be made, do you remember having an opportunity to look at the document that is labeled 444 Yankee?
To be honest with you, I didn't look at the whole document.
Okay. So if I give it back to you, will you look at each of the factual acknowledgments contained on the document?
I already told you, Ms. Love, I initiated on it.
That's not what I'm asking.
Yeah, I can
Do
look
you
at
need
it.
an opportunity to look back
I
at
can
it?
look back on it.
When you've had a chance to read each of them, would you just look up?
Yeah, he got charged with that. Count one is messing him up. Is what messed up this plea deal. Because he got charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon who previously committed a felony with a firearm. It's no good.
Could you read each of the items under that section, please?
You just read them, Ms. Love.
Do you not want to read them?
No, I don't want to read.
Why don't you want to read them?
Because I don't want to read. I just answer to you.
Okay.
I don't want to read.
Having had the opportunity to look at the factual acknowledgments, what other factual acknowledgments besides the one you listed as 8 and 9 are you now saying aren't true?
Yes.
That is a misstatement of the evidence. He said that 7 is not true as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Sustained.
I'll rephrase. Earlier, did I ask you to identify which portions of the factual acknowledgement that you asked the state to change?
And I told you 8, 9, and I couldn't remember if I asked you to change some, but I know some is false.
Okay.
That's what I told you.
And if y'all want to see what 7 is, defendant was told by another YSL associate that immediately after the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., YSL associates met at the McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia to discuss the murder. That's number 7.
If you understood that you could ask me to change 8 and 9, would you explain why you did not ask me to change any other ones? That Mr. Sledge drove over to 1903 Drew Drive, Northwest, an apartment there was at the time being used by Philip Collins, who is Darren Mills's brother, and also present at the club and participated in the assault. In shooting at what they believed to be Philip Collins' apartment, they damaged apartments 1122 and 1120. Natasha Battle's apartment, which was 1120, her patio doors, windows, and couch were damaged from the gunfire. Ms. Troutman's apartment was 1122, and that was the other apartment that was damaged. Through investigations, detectives got a lead that Mr. Garlington and Mr. Zachary were involved, and they conducted interviews.
Yes, sir.
I can pause there.
Okay.
Yeah, but she already read it.
Was that factual basis? Were those words read to the court by the prosecutor at the time you entered a guilty plea in 2017?
I don't remember was it read by the prosecutor because I took a blind plea. And I think the judge
plea.
I think the judge read off the evidence. I don't recall what it was, though.
Never heard that one before.
Do you recall hearing those words read by somebody in court as the reason or the factual basis for the charges that were being brought?
If I can explain, I pleaded guilty because I felt like it was in my best interest. You had 2 co-defendants. Some of what they said was true, and some they said wasn't true. But I did plead guilty because I felt like it was in my best interest.
Were you given an opportunity to say anything at the time that you entered that plea? Were you given an opportunity to make any statements?
No, not that I remember.
Do you recall the judge, after those statements were read, asking you, is there anything you'd like to say before sentencing? Do you recall that happening?
Yes, I recall him asking me that.
Do you recall telling the judge, no, sir?
I remember telling him, thank him for the plea that he allowed. I remember that. I remember me telling him, thank him for the plea that he accepted on the non-negotiable plea, the blind plea or whatever it was.
Would you explain to the jury what your understanding of a blind plea is?
A blind plea that I understood that you leave the evidence up to the judge and the judge determine on the sentence.
In simple terms.
At any time, did you tell the judge, I'm not admitting this, I'm just doing this because it's in my best interest?
Well, I didn't tell the judge that. I told my attorney that. When my attorney asked me, like, when he came to me with the plea deal, and I told him, I said, why I take the plea? Because it's best in my interest. You got 2 guys against 1.
Hold on. At the time that you...
No, I didn't tell it to the judge.
That wasn't the question.
Oh.
At the time that you pled guilty, did you know what sentence the judge was going to give to you?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know, I just knew
Did the judge, was it explained to you that you could receive up to the maximum sentence on each charge?
Not if I understand. I think a deal was already worked out, if I ain't mistaken. That what made me take it. I think it was already worked out between my attorney and the state.
Do you understand the difference between a negotiated plea and a blind plea?
No.
Okay. Have you done anything besides a blind plea in front of a judge before?
Yes, I think I have, yes.
And when you pled guilty on December 28th, 2022, was that a blind plea or something else?
I think it was just a plea. It wasn't a blind plea, though, if I'm not mistaken.
For a regular plea, what do you understand to be the terms? In other words, do you know your sentence before you plead guilty?
Why are we going through
plea?
this?
I don't know, because before the blind plea, I knew my plea.
Why did you then distinguish for the jury that it was a blind plea?
It was, but I already knew the sentence. My lawyer had already aware to me that they was offering the same thing. They was offering the co-defendants what they had pleaded guilty before me.
Okay.
So when I pleaded guilty, my lawyer aware me that they was offering the same plea deal that they gave them. But in my plea deal, I told my attorney that, like, I didn't want the probation. I just take the straight prison sentence.
Okay.
Yes, sir. All right, outside the presence of the jury? Okay. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Brian Steele, get the mic, please.
I'm going to excuse y'all to the jury room.
Excusing the jury again. Dang. Mr. Sledge, you got to go too. I don't know, Casper. I asked in the chat, what do y'all think? Do y'all think the state is intentionally trying to tank their case? Because this is the best they've got. I don't know what we're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, he got to get up out of there.
To do what? Sure. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We still live, Hobby.
Your Honor, I have a motion for a mistrial. The evidence has just come out that two co-defendants who, to my knowledge, at least one of them is not testifying and has entered a guilty plea. That is a confrontation clause violation to Mr. Williams and the other people on trial. In addition, Your Honor, gave an instruction with the last line, and I know it was objected to previously, but I want to stress this, that if it's a prior inconsistent statement, it can be used against Mr. Williams and the other people. That was premature, because I don't believe there's anything inconsistent as of now. And then the third reason I'm moving for a mistrial in the aggregate, Your Honor, is that the prosecutor uses and reads the statement of the then prosecutor, I believe it was the Honorable Mr. Bailey, who entered this plea and gave a factual basis. But she did not make it clear that the Honorable Derek Wright said on page 12 of this transcript to the same court that Mr. Sledge is tendering the plea under Alford, which is ALFORD.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. And honestly, I thought that we were going to be dealing with the guilty plea that he took in this case. And yeah, that's problematic that this 2015 case is an Alford plea. And so I don't think that any of what I said with regard to admissions is actually true, even against this. I mean, he's saying he pled under Alford, and I don't know why the Disposition sheet doesn't say that, but it is very clear that this is an Alford plea in this 2015 case. So Mr. Wright wants to share something.
Yeah,
Yes,
was
sir.
waiting for the appropriate time that I was going to point out that it was in fact an Alford plea. So I thought her cross-examination was not appropriate.
Well, y'all, I mean, maybe that, yeah.
It was something other than an Alford.
This is Antonio Sledge's
Maybe don't
lawyer.
wait so long next time.
Yeah, why didn't he say anything earlier? That's
But,
what I was thinking.
I mean, I'm definitely going to, Ms. Lev, do you want to be heard?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Get ready for it. Here we go. Y'all know what time it is.
Have you ever had a dream that you once?
Here we go.
One, we'd ask that the court deny the motion for mistrial. Number two, we would ask, as it relates to the assertion that no inconsistent statement was made, in the factual acknowledgments.
Okay, no, see, that's the deal with an Alford plea, is you are not acknowledging that the facts are true like you would in a regular guilty plea. You're saying, I think that the state has enough evidence that a jury could be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that these facts are true.
Yeah, and that's what somebody was asking what a Alford plea is. Basically, you're saying I'm still innocent. I believe I'm innocent. But if this were to go to trial, a jury would probably find me guilty. So I'm just going to take this plea. It's basically what it means.
But you're not acknowledging on your own, yes, these are true.
Yeah, and Javi explained.
Your Honor, when I spoke of the factual acknowledgments, I meant 444Y.
Well, that's what I thought you meant.
Within 444Y, we referenced this particular
All right, let's
section.
Maybe if you can point me specifically, let me pull that one up.
Page.
Which number? Go ahead.
Number 3 on page 3 of 7 under defendants factual. I'm sorry, not number 3. Number 4 on defendants factual acknowledgments on or about April 28, 2015, as reflected in Fulton County Indictment 15-SC-138994, defendant and fellow YSL associates Demekion Garlington and Quindarius Zachary committed a drive-by shooting using the firearm defendant wielded in the video referenced in Part 3 of this section, targeting family members of a rival gang. Number 5, defendant and his fellow YSL associates committed the drive-by shooting referenced in sections 3 and 4 above on behalf of YSL and to increase the notoriety, reputation, and fear of YSL.
Okay, and so those factual assertions, what I read as the limiting instruction would be true for. But the factual basis that you just read out from the 2015 one, that's a whole lot more than what's in numbers 4 and 5.
Your Honor, in number 6, defendant admitted committing and was convicted of aggravated assault and participation in criminal street gang activity, among other charges, for his participation in the drive-by shooting referenced in section 3, 4, and 5 above.
Okay.
And so if I'll, of course, comply with whatever appropriate instruction that the court deems necessary to give as it relates to the conviction of this witness for 15 SC 138.
Lawyers, attorneys, back this up. This is a bad sign right here. Y'all see Miss Hilton leaning back with her hands in her lap? This is not a good sign. She's like, oh, shoot, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
994, but given the factual acknowledgments that were made as it relates to 22 SC 183572, and the fact that this witness did not assert, even though
the plea was given in his best interest. He was allowed an opportunity to say what he said here, and he did not say it.
No. When a
Oh, wait, that was probably loud. My bad, y'all. She said no. Ooh.
He was allowed an opportunity to say what he said here, and he did not say it.
No. When a defendant has an attorney who is saying, we are pleading this because we believe it to be in his best interest, the defendant does not then independently need to say, yeah, by the way, judge, here's what Alfred means.
Understood.
So no. Are you going to tender for admission any part of 444Y?
Yes, the state intended to tender 444Y.
In its entirety?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Any objection to that being tendered or admitted in its entirety?
And
But
if
shouldn't that have been done?
there is
already,
an objection to it, then
All right,
we would just.
let's find that out.
Okay.
Because, okay, say there is an objection. What do we do? We're already past the point of no return. Y'all better figure it out quick.
I object at this point to the entirety of the document unless the state can give reasons for which parts of the document are admissible at this time. And if they're not tendering yet, I understand that. But I can't get around how we got here. I'm trying to follow this factual basis, and I realize I asked Ms. Renard, R-E-N-A-R-D.
Too late.
For this, and we're in a different case.
Yeah, we are.
Uh-oh.
So, we've been talking about these 2015 crimes, and we've been talking about, what's been going on in this 22 indictment.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's how it came about. But I wish we'd been a little more specific about it all beforehand, because, I noticed this morning that this was an Alfred plea. And I would have had issues with when you started reading out the factual basis. I'm thinking, well, is this some other case that I don't know about that's not the 2015 case and not the 22 case? Because we should have been reading the factual basis from the 2015 case.
Your Honor, the 2015 case, I understand what the court is saying. The 2015 case is one of the overt acts that we allege in the indictment. And as it relates to the defendant's conviction for the 2015 case, we believe that it would be appropriate is an appropriate matter for cross-examination, and it appropriately falls under the portion of the court's instruction where it tells the jury that the conviction itself is not to be considered as evidence. And to the extent that Mr. Sledge is asserting that he didn't do it, that he dropped someone off, that is what he asserted, by the way. He said that he was not present. He dropped him off, and it was only one house.
Well, we all know how party to a crime works. So, yeah, he said, I didn't shoot, but he did admit to being the driver.
And so, to the extent
she's trying
that
scrambling and scraping,
he said that the statement contained in his factual acknowledgement that he and fellow YSL associates, and I'd also point out that early on he made a very blatant, inconsistent statement that YSL is not a gang. And in this factual acknowledgement section,
all right, we're not going to use anything in the factual acknowledgement section of the 2015 plea.
No, in the 22 SC 183.
Okay, yeah, no. All of that is inconsistent with any of his trial testimony is fair game for you to tender for admission and for them to consider as substantive evidence against everybody. The issue we have that needs to get cleared up is that before I read this limiting instruction, I thought you were going to tender the guilty plea to this 22 SC case. And it turns out that you were talking about the 2015 case, which I understand you're saying we did part of that as, part of the 22 factual acknowledgments. So those factual acknowledgments in there are fine as well. When I say in there, I mean in this 2022 case.
Yes.
But I'm going to have to clarify for the jury that what I told them about prior inconsistent statements
does not
apply, and that everything you just read from that guilty plea also needs to be disregarded.
So, Your Honor, as it relates to the court's instruction to the jury regarding the inconsistent statement not applying, we would only ask that the court specify that the court is speaking as to the factual basis that I asked the witness about.
Now she's asking
in
for favors.
15 SC 138994, particularly where he has testified and he pled in his best interest.
Okay. And you haven't tendered yet the 444Y. And so at the point in time when you tender that, then I'll say, okay, for this one, this is true.
I see what, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. If anybody wants to suggest specific language, I'm willing to listen. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of give it my best shot.
I would like.
And Your Honor, may I say one more thing?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Because number one, the court has previously instructed the jury that questions, and I understand the content of the question needs to be addressed. But given that the witness has testified that he pled guilty in his best interest, and given that he can also be cross-examined as to whether or not he was asserting these things, we don't believe that anything beyond a instruction regarding the factual basis for 15 SC 138994 not being considered a statement of the witness is required.
Okay.
I just respectfully don't think that goes far enough. You have a prosecutor who's saying it's just a blind plea. She leaves out everything about Alford. She elicits, and I'm not saying that she could have anticipated this, but her questioning elicits that a non-testifying severed co-indictee pled guilty also. That is a total confrontation clause violation. It's the second time.
All right. And that's Zachary and...
Well, Mr. Zachary, I anticipate may testify.
Right.
I don't know. He hasn't yet. But it definitely includes Mr. Garlington, who the state has said will not be testifying. And then, just for you to know, you were not here, but the predecessor judge permitted, over objection, the state to do the same thing. They did it with a Mr. Winfrey, just like the court reporter's last name. He's not going to testify. No one believes he's going to testify. The state doesn't say he's going to testify. And they got out that he pled guilty. So they're aware of all this. And
if a witness gives testimony against a defendant, but the defendant isn't given the chance to question that witness in court, for example, if the witness's statement is presented without the witness being there, it could violate the confrontation clause. This often comes up when statements are made outside of court, like in police reports or recorded testimonies, and those statements are used in trial without the opportunity for cross-examination.
in fact, the state elicited in that case that the gentleman, Mr. Winfrey, pled guilty to avoid plea. It was vacated by the Supreme Court of Georgia.
Yeah, I remember you.
So And
Didn't
then
he enter another one after the fact, though, anyway?
5 years later, Alfred plea and said I'm
Okay.
specifically innocent.
Yep.
I mean, it was a farce.
Right.
And then the predecessor judge wouldn't even let me examine the witness. And Miss Love said that the witness I could call in my case in chief on direct. So the reason I'm bringing that up is this is not new.
Okay. What's your intention with regard to Mr. Garlington? Do you have any intention of calling him?
Your Honor, no. And Mr. Steele is absolutely correct in terms of the witness testifying about Mr. Garlington and Mr. Zachary and his doing that. There's nothing that indicates that the only reason he did that was because they pled guilty. So that is not, in other words, his statements that he gave to the jury about Mr. Garlington pleading guilty and all of that are not something that I asked him about or expected him to be talking about.
Right. Okay. But nonetheless, we have that now before the jury.
We would
So-
ask that the court tell the
exactly.
jury to strike, disregard, put out of their mind anything about the Mr. Garlington pleading guilty.
I'm just going to say anyone other than the witness on the stand.
Okay.
Oh, we love the disregards around here.
But Mr.
We got to get a disregard.
But Mr.
t-shirt,
Zachary
too.
is a witness.
I know that, but he hadn't been called yet, has he?
No.
So
no.
deal with it when he gets called.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Sledge, clearly at a jury trial, we are always assessing the credibility of witnesses. My client has now been impugned, or at least attempted to be impugned by the state by suggesting that either he should have been making a statement or his plea was something other, or that these facts are in fact his admitted facts.
I'm going to make it clear that that's not the case.
And that's where I want to make absolutely clear that he was right in the position he was taking, that it was in his best interest.
All right.
Disregard, y'all. Disregard t-shirt
Anything
is
else
loading.
before we get the jury back in? That is a great idea. Let's all do that. Or take that opportunity. Okay, that is denied.
And then because you're giving curative instructions, maybe instead of making the same motions before the next question, can you just acknowledge that I would have done that and then still do the motion for mistrust?
Yes. All right, let's take 5 or 10 minutes ourselves.
All right, how are y'all doing? Y'all had enough of this BS? Let me read some super chats. And I'm gonna get y'all up out here. I'm done with this, man. The state just gets to do whatever they want to. It's crazy. Let me see. I missed a couple of super chats here. Shout out to Dungeon Master Dominatrix in the building. Says McDonald's Happy Meal, Classy Beats. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate you with the 5-ball. Shout out to Bridgetta, says all the pleas sound the same. Well, that's because they are. MH Cassidy in here says, did someone die in the drive-by? No. I believe everybody is all good, as far as I know. Bridgetta says, love is full of hot peppers in 195 heat. MH Cassidy with the 5-bomb again says, is this the same night/club when Woody got jumped? How many drive-bys in this Rico? Poll. Will Love cry in the hallway today or tomorrow? Oh, dang. Yeah. It's tough. Shout out to Carmaine James with the 1-bomb. I appreciate you. Amy in there, she's got her popcorn ready. Thank you for the 149 with the super sticker. She also gifted 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Amy, make sure you say thank you in the chat. Also, shout out to Big Baby Jane in the building with the 5-bomb. Says, thank you for letting me vent in the chat about Whitaker and Love. It's been very therapeutic. Yeah, you can do that here anytime for sure. Oh, I missed one. Hold on. MH Cassidy said, so confused. Is this a different night at the McDonald's? No, this is the same night. This is the night that Donovan Thomas was murdered. And she also says with the 2 bomb, Love said he took the plea deal in 2017, signed in 2022. And that's what we're going through all here because she's mixing things up and now we have to disregard it. She's so jazzy says the crooked ass judge, I'll allow it. She's so jazzy with the 5 bomb too. Appreciate you. Says crooked ass judge, I'll allow it. Of course, he said it was in his best interest. It was an Alfred plea. Duh. And Judge Whitaker's like, oh yeah, I wish I would have said something sooner. His attorney's like, oh man, I was thinking that, Judge, but I didn't say anything. And then Amy in here saying, thank you, Amy, for your support with the 10 bomb. I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. Let me catch a couple more of y'all's comments and then we'll get up out of here. I'm good. I'm good on this today. I had enough of love. I had enough of the, y'all know.
Have you ever had a dream
It's I don't know where we go from here. I asked y'all a question in this poll and also I asked it to the comments afterwards and in the comments of this video. Is the state tanking their own case? 89% of y'all said yes. Oh my gosh. I don't know what we're doing here. It's looking bad. Witnesses aren't cooperating. The witnesses are running this trial. They're sitting there letting these guys talk, give all this information, not keeping them to the point. I don't know what's happening. Another one of our amazing resident attorneys here on the Music Morning Show, Kel Bell, is in here, says, I seriously laugh out loud every time you play that. I mean, it sounds just like her. That's actually her. This is the audio that we took. I don't know if it's legal or not, but we got audio of Miss Love practicing what she was going to say in court, and that's what it sounded like. Let me get a couple more comments in here. Oh, and I've got 2 more favors to ask y'all. 1, if y'all could, make sure you like the video if you haven't yet. It's free. It helps the channel grow, and it lets the algorithm know y'all enjoying the show. Also, if you want to stay and hang out here, when this live stream ends, it's going to direct you over to Kat Knott Williams. She's going to be live at about 4:15. So you got a little bit of time before she goes live, but make sure y'all go check her out. I appreciate everybody who showed love and support. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning. It's going to be an interesting time for sure. Hope y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking the video on your way out, and y'all know what to do. Have a great day. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Yeah, y'all have fun with this one. We gotta take a mental health break.